Hello, I'm Pastor Jeffries. I'm the pastor of the Philadelphia Church of Universal Brotherhood, located at 530 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, New York. And I'm happy you've taken some time out to be with us today. This is Mindful Monday. And as usual, we're going to be bringing some food for thought for this week as we begin this week. Uh, will your legacy be? That's the question. What will your legacy be? A legacy is something that we leave behind. And I'm going to read something from the message translation of the Bible. Why it's a controversial translation, but I like it for when it says things like this. It says, "Men and women who have lived wisely and well will shine brilliantly like the cloudless, star strewn night skies. And those who put others on the right path to life will glow like stars forever. They will glow like stars forever." And that's taken from the message translation. And that's verse 3. Verse 4 says this: "This is a confidential report, Daniel, for your eyes only. Keep it secret. Put the book under lock and key until the end. In the interim, there's going to be a lot of frantic running around trying to figure out what's going on." And that's taken from the uh, message translation of the Bible. And it's interesting. It almost makes me, because if you know anything about music history, Marvin Gaye had a hit years back. I think it was in the '90s. It was the name of the album was "What's Going On," and it's interesting that the message translation would say we're trying to figure out what's going on because that's what Brother Marvin said as well. Now let's get back to what we're here for. About a couple weeks ago, I was talking to a guy by the name of Gilbert. He was a jetty driver and in Montego Bay, Jamaica. He was our tour guide, if you will. He was taking us to a resort, and he was very knowledgeable. As he went along, he would tell us about the different parish that we were passing through. He knew the short and skinny about the whole island from start to finish. Very informative, and he would keep us informed and keep us entertained as he journeyed along as we rode in the bus. And as we were driving, we passed a cemetery and he pulled over. This was interesting. He pulled over to explain that in this cemetery, a headstone consists of whatever profession you were in life. If you were a teacher, then a teacher would be on the headstone. If you were a doctor, something symbolic of a doctor, or maybe a stethoscope would be on your headstone. If you were a musician, then maybe you would have some sort of instrument on top of the instrument that you played on top of the headstone in this cemetery. And then he turned around and said, "If I were to pass on today, what do you think would be on top of my headstone?" And everybody in the bus said, "A bus." He said, "That's right, because I'm a bus driver. And when I'm gone, they were going to remember me for the great job I did driving this bus and the wealth of information and the help that I was to the community." And I thought that was very, very interesting because when we die, we do leave something behind that speaks about our lives. It goes on and tells a history of who we were and what we did while we were here on earth. Did we do something to help others? What were we known for? Were we known for goodness and mercy? Were you known? What type of person were you when you were here? They're going to remember your strong points. They're going to remember who you were while you were here. Those who are wise will shine as bright as the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. We must live our lives as to leave a legacy that we can be proud of, a legacy a legacy that represents something good about you. When people recall you, they will remember some outstanding good you did, or maybe they'll remember the noble way you treated others. Maybe they'll remember how kind you were or to everyone, or even or they might remember your even disposition. Whatever your strong point is, you want it to make it a good strong point. Whatever is the mark that represents you, you should strive to make it an honorable memory. Regardless of how much time we spend on this earth, we create a legacy for ourselves. Some will be positive, others will be negative. Some of us will have a worldly focused legacy, others will have a God centered legacy. If you were to die today, what would others say about you? How would you be remembered? These are big questions and not always easy to think about, but they may lead us to reconsider the way we're living our lives, right? So that you can pursue a life lived with a godly impact on our world. In addition, we don't have to have a world renowned legacy in order for it to matter. To do good for others and to honor God, that is what creates an eternal legacy. Even if we were even if we were to impact only one life during our lifetime on earth, that one life matters, and that would lead us to having a significant impact during our lifetime in this world. Gilbert just met us, and he left an impression on all of us who rode in that jetty bus. He was personable, he was friendly, he was well spoken, he was kind and sharing, and he was very informative. And might I add, he was a very skillful bus driver. He left a positive first impression on all of us, to the point that we passed around a hat and gave him a liberal tip just because of the vibes that he gave off, just because of the legacy that he was building. Because I guess if Gilbert did this every day like he said, he's going to leave quite a legacy, because he was a memorable stay in our trip. That's something like how Jabez was in the Bible. He's known and he left a legacy for us to emulate. It says in the Bible, and it's very short, but it's powerful. It says, and Jabez was more honorable than all his brethren. That's just that alone. He was more honorable. He was remembered because he was more honorable than all his brethren. And his mother called his name Jabez, saying that because he gave her pain and sorrow during birth. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed, and enlarge my coast, and that thy hand be with me, and that thou wouldest keep me from evil, that I may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he requested. That's what the Bible says. That's found in First Chronicles chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. He was a noble man and he wanted to leave a noble legacy. And the Bible says that when he went to the Lord, he asked the Lord, and then the Bible says that the Lord heard his prayer and granted his request. You see, now the legacy we leave behind is important because it continues to speak about us after we have moved on. Let's be mindful of this and start building legacies that we can be proud of, legacies that your children can be proud of, legacies that will speak in a sterling way about you when you have passed on. Think good, do good, speak well of others, help others, lift up the fallen, live a life of integrity. I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day, and I said to her, integrity is a thing of the past. It's not it's not a word that we talk about, and most and even less than we talk about it, do we act on it. We don't practice integrity. What does integrity even mean? The quality of being honest and having a strong moral principles, a moral uprightness, if you will. Integrity builds character, strength, and originality in a person's nature. The mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. A good person's reputation, a noble and stately character, who is a person who is prone to do the right thing no matter who's around, no matter who's watching. If there's nobody around, he still is noble. He still has integrity. And it's something that we want to build. We want to train our children to have integrity. It's a quality that is admired. Nowadays, your word is well, it's no longer your bond because they throw words around and they don't care. They might know that it's false, but they say it anyway. They talk in terms that they know are false. They put out a big lie. I mean, it's amazing, and they actually insult people's intelligence. And I'm talking about men that are supposed to be leading our country. It is amazing how there is such a following for falsehood and seemingly stupid antics. But if they had integrity, this would not they could not do that, and this would not be going on right now. What do I mean by this? What am I saying all of this about? It's important about the legacy that you leave. It's important to have integrity in your life. It's important that your word means something and that your character is upfront and people know you for who you are. So I want us all to think about this week. I want us to pray on it. We're in this year of restoration and integrity and character, or some things that we need to restore back into our society, restore back into our everyday activities and in our children and with our dealings with others, with each other, we should have integrity and we should have strong moral character. So it's something that we can work on. It's something that's good. It's something that will build us. So I want us to, this is food for thought. It's a mindful Monday, and I want us to restore back to our society integrity and good character amongst us all. I'm going to sign off now. I want to invite everybody back to be with us on our Facebook platform and on our Zoom platform, on YouTube. We're there on Saturdays from 11:30, and we just want you to tune in, bring a friend. Maybe you might have a watch party. If these talks are aiding you in any way, we want you to let us know. We want you to drop us a line. We want you to check in with us and let us know how things are going and how it's helping you. Until I see you again the next time on Mindful Monday, I want you to keep your head up and remember that the best is yet to come. God bless you, and I shall see you next week.